Good afternoon and welcome back to SPNN Forum. I am your host, Jiccarra N. Hollman, and today I am here with two cool individuals. I have Sam Stahlman in this cool retro jacket, and then I have Katie Huynh in this cool leather punk rocker jacket, and we are talking about the QUEERSPACE Collective. Welcome back to SPNN Forum, and once again, I'm your host, Jiccarra N. Hollman, and today we're talking QUEERSPACE Collective with Sam Stahlman and Katie Huynh. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yes. Let's get into QUEERSPACE Collective. Please inform me, what is QUEERSPACE Collective? How would you describe it and your services that you offer?
Sure thing. So QUEERSPACE Collective is a local organization, and our mission's to empower young LGBTQIA plus youth to feel safe and empowered to be their true selves and show up authentically in the world. So we do that through a number of our amazing programs. Our flagship program, we kind of call it the queer version of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we pair up a queer trans adult with a queer trans young person, and they agree to be in a mentoring. They mentor one another for a year, and just show up for each other authentically, help each other through life's ups and downs of being a young queer person. And then we have several other programs that we've expanded since then.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, so how did you find yourself here?
Yes.
What are your roles?
Oh, yeah. So I'm our new communications manager. Actually, we're both pretty brand new to the team. We started at the same time in just September. And I previously actually came from Big Brothers Big Sisters, so youth mentorship is not that far of a jump for me in terms of just leaning into the queer community as well as advocacy and social justice at QUEERSPACE Collective. So the work is very familiar, but I'm really happy to be here and just advocate for this community that I've always cared and deeply admired, and as well as being a part of the community. So that's how I found myself here, and I've always been passionate about youth advocacy and youth empowerment, so it feels like the perfect fit and intersection between all the things that I've wanted for my own career.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
Sam, how did you find yourself here?
Yeah, sure thing. So I am a program manager at QUEERSPACE Collective, and I have come in to run our new youth center. So we just opened up a youth center for queer youth, ages 13 to 17, in the heart of Minneapolis. And I got hired on to help run that, make it a safe space, fun space for our young people. I've worked in the nonprofit world kind of my whole life, really focusing on youth empowerment. And so when this job came across my computer and saw it was specifically for queer youth, it just felt like something I needed as a young person. And so to be able to be that adult in this space feels really special and exciting, and it's really fun work, really important work, and I feel so lucky to have landed this job and be with this organization.
Okay, amazing. And Sam, you touched on it briefly, but what would you say is your target audience?
Sure thing. So we work with all queer youth ages 12 through 17.
Okay.
That lower number kind of changes depending on the program that we have. So our youth center is just open to ages 13 to 17. Our mentorship program is age 12 to 17. And within the next couple of years, we're really looking at how do we expand that to better serve all queer youth, so including young, kids younger than 12, and our young people ages 18 to 24 who still, need support as they get into adult land.
Now, would you say that after 17 individuals, how can they still be supported with your services?
I think that's what we're trying to navigate as well, because I think that's an age group that's often a little bit overshadowed or just not you know, once they reach 18, they're like, okay, you're out into the world, figure out yourself. So that's something that we're trying to work through too, because it's an age group that, you know, you're just emerging into adulthood. You're still learning. You're still a child. You still, you know, have so many questions, you know, and to have that support and mentorship even as they navigate through like college or career readiness, whatever path they choose is so valuable. I mean, I think of like when I was a college student, like I didn't know anything either. Like even though I was technically an adult, like I hoped for an older adult that could mentor me and just like, you know, feel supported as well as like, just show me some of the ropes in terms of like, you know, navigating life obstacles. How do I do taxes? How do I apply for jobs? So those are types of things that we're looking as we look to expand our age range in terms of that age group.
Now, Sam and Kate, I have Katie.
Yes.
Okay, let me get it right. Sam and Katie, I have listened to you both at different times mention mentorship. Tell me a little bit more about that mentorship aspect.
Want to go first?
Yeah, you know, there's lots of studies that show that for queer youth, having just one supportive adult in their life reduces their suicide risk by 40%. And so knowing that statistic, we're just so aware of how impactful having a supportive adult is for our young queer youth. And so mentorship is really what the young person and the adult make out of it, right? It might be that they just go and play board games and, you know, small talk and just have a fun time. It might be that the young person is navigating coming out as trans and they have a trans mentor who can really help them talk through that or just share their different life experiences. So when we think of mentorship, it's just all about having that supportive adult to help the young person navigate life.
Okay.
I think too, like, specifically LGBTQ plus mentorship is so powerful because like we know in just this day and age, like in terms of the social political climate that is really, you know, threatening a lot of trans and non-binary and queer youth in terms of like their safety, where they feel like they can show up as their authentic selves. But also mentorship is so powerful that like, you know, it's mutually beneficial. It's not just a one-way street. We're not like trying to impose on like these volunteers that you need to have all the answers, you need to know everything. Is that you're in this relationship together really to show up for each other, and that's like been the most valuable piece I think out of mentorship. That, you know, it's intimidating for some people that they think like, oh, I need to know everything so I can like teach this child. But really what we're asking is that you just show up for each other. Like Sam said, you're just hanging out. You're showing up for them, you're listening to their, you know, feelings and validating their feelings. That's what really is the essence of mentorship. It's not that, you know, you're teaching like a child math or something. Like that's what we're asking, but just that there's another caring adult in their network and just around their corner that they can go to when they have like questions about things. And, you know, you learn from each other, you teach each other, you get out of it as much as you put in. So really emphasizing like it's a two-way street and it's not as scary as like a lot of people think it is.
That's beautiful. And how can one show up and apply or become a mentee or a mentor?
Yeah, absolutely. They can visit our website.
Okay.
We have an application process for both our mentees and our mentors. So folks just have to kind of go through that process. And for the mentors, it's, you know, we'll get a background check, we interview them, they go through an orientation, and we pretty much do the same for our mentees, and then it's waiting to find that perfect match. So we put a lot of thought into how we match our mentors and mentees to make sure that it's going to be the best possible mentorship relationship that we can help cultivate.
Amazing. Yeah. Now, Sam and Katie, I checked out your website, I checked out your socials, your Instagram, and you have some cool people that I love that is a part of your program. And I just want to know, you know, how are you planning to continue this? Because I seen on your website, it said something about a 3-year strategic plan. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Please tell me more.
Yeah, so our strategic plans, so we launched in April 2021 with just the one-to-one mentorship program. We've expanded since to like our training and consulting services, our group hangouts, trainings and caregiver like conversations, as well as, what was the one other thing? Oh, our youth center that just opened, duh.
Yeah.
And so now we're looking at 2025 and the next coming years to expand and scale nationally and launch a virtual mentorship app where we know that, especially with our youth mentorship program, the one-to-one, like you need parental consent for the child to opt in. And that's a barrier for a lot of like queer youth that may not have accepting adults in their life. So we're trying to reduce those barriers and like tap into more rural and BIPOC communities by launching this app nationally so that we can reach more folks in those communities that might not be able to get to our youth center or participate in our mentorship program. So that's been one big upcoming project. The other that Sam touched on was that we're expanding our hangouts. So now that we have a physical space right in the heart of Minneapolis, it's accessible by bus, by highways, so we're very intentional about the location. We hope to expand to younger youth as well as college-age youth and also family hangouts so that more people can come into the youth center. So those are our two upcoming projects for our strategic plan. Anything else I missed? Yeah.
Well, I seen that grand opening of the 2SLGBTQ plus event. What does the 2S stand for, by the way?
It stands for Two-Spirit.
Two-Spirit.
Yes.
Two-Spirit. How did that come about?
So as you know, like in the LGBTQ plus community, we're always learning and we're always changing things. And that's the beauty of it, as well as the challenge that we're always pushing our learning edge. And, you know, that 2S was included to be inclusive of the Native American as well as Indigenous Two-Spirit, their version of just non-binary queer identities. So I'll admit that that's not something that we're especially knowledgeable in either. We hope to expand our learning as well as be more inclusive. So we're looking to partner with other organizations who do know that more than anybody else in the field and partner with them, because we only know what we know. We know that, you know, we're a young organization that could do a lot better and do a lot more, but we also want to lean on our partner organizations to, you know, they know this better than we do, so how can we partner with them to bring them in so that they can use our space for like an affinity space, do programming. So that's what we hope to do with just like expanding like 2S LGBTQIA+.
I think that's what's so beautiful about the queer community is we are a multicultural community, right? So it's always finding that balance of navigating and honoring every part of our queer community's identities, right? So we know that there are Native and Indigenous folks that are queer. How can we make them feel supported in our space? We know that there are Black folks that are queer. How do we make them feel supported and safe? And yeah, just make sure that we are doing that. And it's hard work, right?
Yes.
We don't always get it right. But really our mission is that any queer person, and specifically queer young people, come into our space and they're like, I can be myself, whatever it might look like that day, whether it's new pronouns, new name, tapping into their specific cultural identity. So yeah, that's our dream and mission and hope, and it's a constant work in progress, right? Because we are such a diverse community.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sam.
Yeah.
Hi. If you are just tuning in, this is the SPNN Forum. I am Jiccarra N. Hollman, and today we're speaking to two amazing individuals, Sam Stahlman.
You got it.
Yes, and Katie Huynh of QUEERSPACE Collective. And we're talking all things queer space because we just got a queer space for individuals to really just show up as their authentic self. We talked about mentorship, being a mentor or a mentee, having someone to advocate for you, to show up for you, and to just kind of have someone to go to and be like a confidant if that's what you need, right? We talked about how it is inclusive to individuals from different walks of life that identify as being queer or, you know, needing extra support within the community. And we talked about the cool individuals that you guys have within your organization, like yourselves. Now, you know, as we talked about that party too that happened when you had your grand opening, I seen so many things, because like I said, I was on your website. I seen some drag performances. I seen like some I seen some activities for the whole family. So how did you decide to, choose the programming for that particular event?
Yeah, great question. It was a whole staff. So we have a staff of 12 folks, and we all rallied together to make that grand opening happen.
Yes.
And like we were just talking about, right, the queer community is so diverse and has so many different needs. And so it's really sitting down and being like, how can we accommodate all those needs? So having a loud outdoor space with music and DJing and free food, like that's really fun. And then for some people, like, that's not their jam, right? They like more quiet activities, more arts and crafts. And then, of course, we're always in conversation with the people that we support. What do y'all want from this space? Especially our youth center, like, it is for the youth. So I don't want to go in there and be like, this is what we're doing, right? I mean, I provide the safety and the rules to make sure that everyone feels safe. But we really want our spaces to really support the youth in the way they want to be supported. So it was also feedback from past several years. And yeah, it was just such a big celebration of opening the center. We were all like, how do we make this amazing? So
yes. I think it was amazing from what I've seen. You even had the mayor there. Mayor Jiccarra N was in the building. How was that meaningful to have the mayor show up for your event?
Yeah, the mayor as well as several local politicians, like LGBTQ plus advocating politicians, and just a lot of like community leaders, just like as a validation of our work. Like, we're not the first LGBTQ youth center. The last one was District 202. I think that closed down in like 2009-ish, about more than 10 years ago. And so we want to, that was our very purpose, to pick up where they left off, because there hasn't been that kind of center since. And so to have Fry as well as all these local leaders like come to our ribbon cutting ceremony was really like validating of our work. Like, yes, we did it. Like, we're here, and we are here to welcome all queer youth and make them feel safe, supported, and welcome as soon as they walk in our doors.
Amazing. As we're on this discussion, let's talk about some more of the opportunities and events that you're hosting. So as I was checking out your website, you have some events happening in St. Cloud even. There was like a tour of a cool exploration studio. What is that?
Yeah, so we started doing programming in St. Cloud, I think about 1.5 years ago, maybe more. And we were going to do our mentorship model up in St. Cloud, and kind of heard from the community that they'd prefer more of a group hang type of situation. So we just started an art workshop. So once a week, young people can come in and explore different art mediums, and specifically cater it for our queer community so that young people can meet other queer friends, meet some queer adults in the community, and do some awesome art. Well,
okay. All right, now I want to get this name right. Then you have DJing with DJ Shannon Blowtorch.
Yeah.
Okay, how did that come about?
We were not a part of that, so I'm not quite sure how it came about, but DJ Shannon Blowtorch is like a legendary queer DJ in the Twin Cities. And we're just always looking for unique opportunities for our young people to be able to explore, different creativity, different STEM activities. We did like an art and activism workshop last spring. So just finding a wide variety of cool hobbies and things to learn for our young people, and then finding really rad queer role models to lead those workshops. So that's just starting, and the kids seem to be having a really incredible time. So
you had this workshop that I wish that I could be a part of. It was called like the blacksmithing workshop, using the hammer and building some things, because as a homeowner myself, I need some work with the hammer. So how did that come about? And then also, how do like allies be a part of the space? Two-part question. Go ahead.
Great question.
I can take the second one if
Okay,
you want.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we're just always looking to partner with amazing queer role models in our community. So we work a lot with different artists, and I think the blacksmithing came about of just finding this like amazing blacksmithing artist and partnering with them to create some curriculum for our young people to go and do it. And like, what a unique opportunity, right? Like blacksmithing, like what?
That's so niche and so cool. Like it's not usually accessible either. So it's really cool that this opportunity came about.
Yeah, and the art that the young people made was so cool too. They just ended that program I think last week and had a display to show off what they made, and it was so cool to see all the different creations they had.
Can you please share some pictures?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, it'll go out on our socials tonight. Like there are a couple, like, you know, there's one person created a hiking stick, some created bowls. There are like several abstract like artwork pieces that I was like, I don't know what that is, but that looks so cool. So their creativity just blows my mind.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Wow. Okay. I don't know who that was up there, but they look cool in my peripheral. So not only did you have blacksmithing, now, okay, so the second part of the question, how does allies be a part of supporting the
that's
space?
a great question. So we're always looking for opportunities like this. Actually, our group hangouts, I believe, started because we had a waiting list of youth waiting to be matched with an adult for our one-to-one mentorship program. But to help them with the waiting period, we created these group hangouts, and actually a lot of youth decided like, no, I actually prefer this, like the group hangout activities where they could do like blacksmithing and DJing. So we're always looking for new partners to provide those experiences and opportunities for our youth. And then you can always go on our website to donate or help fundraise. We also offer several opportunities to volunteer aside from our mentorship program.
Okay.
So you can volunteer actually at our drag brunches. We partner with Flip Foam Drag Brunches, and you can volunteer on a Sunday to go downtown and, you know, help dance and fundraise for our drag brunches. Yeah, it's really cool. And then, you know, we're always looking to expand our brand and presence throughout the community, so you can volunteer to help table or just like, you know, help our staff table at these events. So there are several ways to support our mission.
That's so amazing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw that your DJ event with DJ Shannon Blowtorch is actually taking place at the Lush Lounge.
Yes. Yeah.
Lush. I wanted to say Plush. That's another one in Philly.
A couple of things. So since we just like officially opened our doors to the youth center, we do have a fundraising campaign for this center to equip the space for the first year of our operations. It's called Create the Space. Like quite literally, you're helping us create the space, and we're raising $650,000 by the end of this year.
Wow.
And we're already 80% to goal.
Okay,
so
good.
it's awesome news, and we're just quite literally almost to the finish line. So we appreciate all gifts and donations. If there are other ways you can help support our space, that'd be awesome. And then, as Sam said, we're always enrolling for our mentorship program. Specifically, I think we're looking to recruit especially BIPOC, trans, and non-binary mentors, because that's a majority of the youth on our waiting list. That we take great care in matching queer adults with queer youth who have the same similar identities, so that they could have that shared lived experience. So that's specifically our recruitment needs. And then, you know, as Sam said, we're always looking to recruit youth in our mentorship program, as well as youth hangouts. So the youth hangouts, they don't have to go into the one-to-one. They can just stay in the group hangouts if they want to take advantage of the DJing and blacksmithing workshops and art studios that we offer in St. Cloud and Minneapolis and Twin Cities.
Amazing. Now, Katie and Sam, I know that QUEERSPACE Collective has an amazing impact on the community and for those that you serve. But I also know that it's not all fun and it's not all programming and events. Let's talk about how you're supporting those individuals that, you know, are going through the process of their transitioning, and maybe they're not getting the support at home, and maybe it's, you know, a really tough transition. So how are you rallying around them?
Yeah, I think that's why opening up the youth center was so important to us. Like Katie mentioned, to go into our mentorship program, you have to have permission from your parent or guardian. But our youth center is just you can come hang out. So any queer youth ages 13 to 17, show up on a Tuesday or Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m., and you can hang out. And we partner with a lot of other local organizations that are already out there doing incredible work, you know, whether it's providing shelter, emergency shelter, long-term shelter, gender affirming care and like medical help. You know, that's not our expertise, but we have all the information about it so that if a young person comes in with a specific need, we can at least equip them with some knowledge and help to get those services. And again, it's just so important that our young people have just one adult in their life that says, I see you, you know, and I care about you, and however you're showing up today, like, you're valued and amazing. And that's really the energy we're bringing to the youth center. So would just encourage any young person to come on by, and we have a good time. We do art, we hang out, we have some sick playlists going. We always have a hot meal. Yeah.
I love what you just said, because you actually just hit on the head what I was going to ask of you next, which is for those individuals that are watching and they're just not yet ready to come out as queer or, you know, self-identifying as of yet, and they're watching this and they need that extra push.
Yeah.
And you already said it, I see you, come on out, we have a space for you, the door is open. But speaking of which, when are the doors open so we don't show up on a Monday or a Sunday? Please tell us.
Totally. So our youth center, again, open Tuesdays, Thursdays from 3 to 6 p.m. for ages 13 to 17. And just keep an eye on our website and our socials. As we've mentioned, we're really hoping to expand those hours and the age groups to fully serve our community. But right now, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 3 to 6 p.m.
Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
is when we can come to the QUEERSPACE Collective and be loved on and in a consensual way. Supported, receive some mentorship, some free food, and programming.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Is there anything we missed here today that we just did not talk about that is so pressing and important for us to make sure we share?
I think I'm just going to double down on what I just said.
Yes.
and kind of your question about, you know, the journey of if you're not quite ready to label yourself or whatever it is, like, no pressure, right? This is a lifelong journey for many of us in the queer community. And we're really all about, like, supporting you wherever you're at and seeing the value in you and seeing the value in young people too. So again, encourage everyone, if you're watching, you're like, I don't know, come on down to the youth center. We'll hang out, we'll have a good time. We'll have some joy and connection in our lives. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I second and third that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know what else to say to that because that was perfect. So, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Katie Wynn in the cool rocker leather jacket, and Sam Stahlman
You got it.
in the cool retro jacket, you know, and the cool earrings. I do the mismatch earrings too sometimes, you know, I love it.
Thank you.
We have just heard from two amazing individuals that is, you know, available at QUEERSPACE Collective. That is doing some amazing programming, some amazing communications, and supporting the community. Please make sure you tap in with QUEERSPACE Collective, whether you are identifying as an individual that can greatly be impacted or gain from this space, or an ally that want to show up and show support. This is SPNN Forum. I am Jiccarra N, Hollman, your host, and today we are celebrating the great work of QUEERSPACE Collective. Make sure you come on back and watch again.